Hi guys, welcome back to another 12 by 12 layout. This time I am using the April 2015 Scraptastic I Lived kit, and I just absolutely love this little acrylic happy piece, so I just had to use it on this layout. And I actually only use a little bit of pattern paper and some die cuts from this kit, and I kept the layout pretty simple. I want to do something a little bit different than I've done in the past, so you're going to see that in just a little bit here. The picture is approximately 3 by 4, and I just mounted it on this white cardstock, and then I'm going to mount it on that colorful chevron piece of paper. But first I'm going to put some gesso on the background. This is just some white gesso, and I am going to mark where my photo is, and then I'm going to put the gesso kind of in that space and just in kind of a little bit larger rectangle than what the picture is going to be. And I'm just going to use a dry paper towel and just pat this around. I want it to be very cloud-like appearance. I don't want it to be very harsh lines, so I'm just kind of dab and pat instead of smear or rub. So I'm just going to kind of do that all over and making sure that it comes out far enough from the paper that you can see it, but not too far, because I just want a little bit kind of peeking out all around the edges. So I'm just kind of putting the gesso on the paper towel and then patting it where I want it instead of putting the gesso directly on the paper. Again, I'm trying to get that cloudy kind of stippled look, and I don't want it to be too harsh. So that is about good there. I dried it, and now I'm just trying to flatten it out a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is take my, what are they called? Zig Real Brush color markers, and these are water-based markers that are awesome. I absolutely love these markers, and they blend so well, especially on water color cardstock, but also if you add gesso, it blends really well too. Now, if you added it directly to the cardstock, it would just kind of bleed in and not blend all that well. So you have to use a paper that is kind of a slicker surface, or not as a, I can't talk, a non-porous surface, or a less porous surface than like a cardstock. This cardstock, it would just like sucked it right in, and then you wouldn't have been able to do anything with it. But with the gesso, because it's prepped, you're able to kind of manipulate the color a lot better. So what I did was I just scribbled on some of this blue color all around the border, and this is just so it's going to peek out from behind the picture. And I didn't obviously put it in the middle because my picture is going to be covering it up, but I didn't want to bother messing with it like that. So I'm just taking my water brush that I got from Stampin' Up and just using that to kind of pull the color from the edges out to the or I guess pull it from the center out to the edges, so that it's going to come out from behind the photo and the piece of paper. So first I'm using this blue color, and then I'm going to add a yellow color and a red color just to pull some of those colors from the picture. The red is going to be pulling from the little happy acrylic piece, and then the yellow is just another accent piece. I thought it was a little bit flat just using the blue by itself, and I wanted to add a little bit more detail. So as you can see, I'm just kind of going in where I thought there wasn't quite enough blue and just adding a little bit more here and there to get some of the color spread out a little bit more. And I like how it adds a little bit more depth, where it's not all one solid color. It kind of adds a little bit darker here and there and a little bit lighter in other places. And that just gives a really nice texture and appearance to this background. So like I said, once I get this all down, I am going to move on to the other colors. And while I'm doing that, I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me again today. I know I haven't had a lot of the 12 by 12 process videos up lately. Life has just been pretty crazy. I've been trying to get some videos up. I have some Plan With Me videos that I normally put up at the beginning of the week, and I am trying to get some Project Life videos up during kind of mid-week-ish, and hopefully I will be getting more and more of those up as the days go on. Hopefully my schedule will allow me to do that and get a little more consistency. So if you're looking for any of those other layouts or other project types, you can check those out during those approximate time frames. And if you guys are enjoying the videos, I would love for you to like the videos and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I love hearing from you guys too, so you can always leave me comments below if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing, any products I'm using or anything like that. I can definitely usually look them up or get back with you if I'm not actually telling you when I'm narrating the videos and things. So I'm back to the layout now. I am just adding in that kind of reddish color that I said I was going to be doing, and I'm just adding little bits of this. I probably added a little bit more yellow that I'm going to add the red, but I'm just kind of going around and blotting as I go, because the red is a bit darker than the rest of it, and I don't want it to be too bold, so I'm kind of smearing it out and then blotting it back so it's just a little bit of an accent color and not overwhelming. I really want the blue to be the biggest star, if you want, or if you'd say, of the colors. So I just keep doing this until I am satisfied with what it looks like, and I'm really timid with this red, so I start really far in and then I'm pulling it out, and so by doing that I end up needing to continue to put more and more red on. But I'd rather do it this way, and because you can always add more but you can't take it off, so this is my way of being careful. And now, because I was getting frustrated because I kept getting it too much under the photo, I just kept the paper down and then add a little bit of red so I can see exactly where I need to pull that red from to add more color. So that is it with the coloring. Now I'm going to start gluing everything down. So my photo and my paper are going to go there in the center. So I dried everything up before I'm going to glue things down. And I'm just using my ATG gun to get that down. And my ATG gun was not cooperating, so that's why you see me putting like a bazillion tons of glue down. Normally I don't use that much. I am going to use quite a bit on the back of this one though, because when you glue things down to the gesso it doesn't seem to stick all that well, so I am going to use a decent amount of glue here so my picture sticks on that gesso. And I'm just going to use some Scotch quick dry adhesive for the happy, and I'm going to show you that in just a little bit. First I'm going to cut a strip for the top and bottom. I thought it looked a little bit like everything was kind of falling off the page, if you will, and I wanted to kind of get your eye more into the center since my page is relatively simple. So I'm just going to cut this strip in half, and I kind of want it to be a little bit wonky, and so you're going to see me kind of cutting it here and not really caring too much about how straight it is. I thought that strip was a little bit too thick, so I'm going to trim them both down just slightly. And then I'm going to mount it on the top and the bottom, and I just think that draws your eye a little bit more into the page, and it doesn't allow your eyes to like fall off the page. So it's just a nice little easy way to do a border. This is good too when you have those border strips from your 12 by 12 paper left over, to use those, cutting them in half and then adding them at the top and bottom. But I really like this red color because I think it ties in really nice with that big bold red happy acrylic piece. And I didn't want it to look too overwhelming, and I think this kind of gives it a good balance to the page. So now I'm going to glue that down, and like I said, I'm just going to use my Scotch 3M or Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine liner bottle. I'm just going to put glue pretty much all over everything because I wanted it to stay. I wasn't quite sure how well this acrylic piece was going to stay. It's pretty massive, and you know, with the moving of the paper and things like that, I'm hoping that it's going to last over time, but I wanted to ensure it as much as possible, so I put glue everywhere all over the back of it. And then I'm going to put it in place, and then I'm going to hold it there for a couple seconds, making sure that it actually really adheres really well to the paper. Once that's glued down, I'm going to start placing my die cuts and embellishments kind of all over the page. And these are all from that same Scraptastic kit, and my title is going to end up saying "Too Happy." I had that little wood veneer piece that I had in the kit, and I liked how it looked next to the happy. And there's two of them. It's my daughter and our kitty cat, so I thought it was perfect. So "Too Happy," they're both very happy, and there's two of them, so it worked out well. So now I'm just gluing everything down, and then the last little piece that I'm going to put on this layout is that flare. I'm just going to add some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to the back of it just to pop it up. It gives it just enough dimension so that it adheres to the page, but it doesn't really lift it off any more of the page. So that little flare just says "Happy." And then I'm pretty much wrapping it up now. I'm just going to add a little bit more of a title or something. If you want to call it a title, it's not really a title, it's a little bit kind of a journaling snippet right under the word "happy," and then I'm adding the stitching on the top and bottom of the layout just using my white gel pen. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I'm going to show you some close-ups here at the end, and I just want to thank you guys again for joining me and hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys again, or not see you guys, I guess I'll talk to you guys again soon, really soon. So thank you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of the video and the close-ups at the end. Bye!